Hello everyone, this is Yolanda from CraftySentiments.com and I'm back with another video for you. Today's video we're going to make a Halloween scene card, and some of the supplies that I will be using today is a piece of basic gray, measures at 8.5 by 5.5 and it's scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of pumpkin pie that measures 4 by 5 1/4. For the inside sentiment, I have another piece of, this is a piece of Whisper White that measures 4 by 5 1/4. And for the image that we're going to be using today, I have a piece of Whisper White that measures 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. The stamp sets we're going to be using today is the Halloween Scenes stamp set. This is really nice and I love this one. Lots and lots of fun things that we're going to use today on this one. But because this doesn't have a sentiment, I'm going to be using the Mr. Funny Bones, a sentiment from one of these particular from this particular stamp set. Also going to be using a bone folder and my Aqua Painter and one of my finger daubers and pumpkin pie. And the colors that we'll be using today are chocolate chip, old olive, pumpkin pie, basic black, smoky slate, and soft sky. It's just a little bit of color that we'll be using with some of these. We're not going to be using a lot of color from all of them, but those are the ones that we'll be using today. So, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is work on the inside of the card. We're going to do things a little bit backwards. So I'm going to take some pumpkin pie and I'm going to stamp, the sentiment and pumpkin pie. And this is the sentiment from the Mr. Funny Bones or Funny Bones? Mr. Funny Bones. And it says happy, spooky, creepy, scary Halloween. And I'm going to stamp that there. And then I'm going to stamp in black some little bats around the top. Okay, that's it for that. And then I'm just going to basically sponge around the outside. Because I'm not doing 2 layers, I'm just going to do 1 layer on the inside of the card. So I wanted to give it a little bit of dimension. And that's it for that. I'll leave that open. And I'm going to set this aside to dry. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the piece of Whisper White that's 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I'm going to ink up the image of the house. I'm going to do that in basic black. I'm doing this off to the side just a little bit. There you go. Then I'm going to take my soft sky and my, old olive. I'm going to use the Aqua Painter. And in order to get the little pool right there, while it's closed, you just take a little, just squeeze it, and that will deposit some ink on the inside of your lid. And I'm going to use that to watercolor. And I'm just going to watercolor like some grass. This is going to be like abstract art. It's not going to be anything perfect. I just want some color. And you could use watercolor paper, but I'm not. This is just going to be something really quick. I don't want it super perfect because it's a creepy Halloween scene. And that's all we're going to do for that. We're going to wipe this off. We're going to go to the pumpkin pie. Sorry about that. I keep going all screen. And then we're just going to color in the windows. And the door. Just a light color. Not too much. And you have to be careful with this because if you do this on, this is plain Whisper White, and if you do too much, then it starts to lift up and curl a little bit. But that's fine because it's a Halloween scene. I don't, like I said, I don't want this super perfect. And you know, while I have this out, I'm going to stamp the sun. Right here. And that's all for that. I can put the pumpkin pie away. Now the other part I'm going to use is the soft sky, and I'm going to do the same. Squeeze. And for the soft sky, I'm going to use this for the sky. Again, I don't want this to be perfect. Just depositing some weird color on the background because it's a in the daytime, but it's sort of kind of weird and spooky, but not too spooky. And I'm just going to go around the sun. The reason you don't want to go over that is because it's another color, and it would actually, with the water, it would activate, and then we don't really want that to happen. Okay, that's it for the soft sky. I can put that aside. I can put my old olive aside so I won't get confused. Smoky slate, I need that just a little bit. And for the smoky slate, a little bit of color for the steps. And the fence. And that's all for that. So the next thing that I'm going to do will be to stamp my fence and my tree. So I'm using chocolate chip for that. Yeah. Let me stamp off to make sure. And I'm going to go right in the corner. Kind of crooked. And what I'm going to do is take a little piece, because I don't really want it to go over that. just to mask that off. And that's fine if it's off like that. I don't mind. There we go. And the next thing I want to stamp is the tree. And I'm going to stamp that right about there. And let's see, the next thing I want to stamp, I'm finished with the chocolate chip. The next thing I want to do is the basic black. And I'm going to stamp some bats right in the sun. Some here and some there. And that's all for that one. And then the next thing that I want to stamp is, there's another little element that I want to stamp in the sky. But before I do that, I'm going to do that with Imperfect Plum. But before I do that, I need to mask off a little bit with the sun. So I'm just taking a piece of scratch paper and my 3 3/4 circle punch. I'll punch out a circle. I'm not even going to totally mask it down. I'm just going to cover up the sun because I don't want that to go over that. But if a little bit gets on the sides, that's fine. I'm not going to stress too much. And so we're going to take the Perfect Plum. And I'm going to start at the bottom. And that's it. This is my scene card. So now we can put everything together. Here is the basic black, the basic gray. I'm going to crease that with my bone folder. Uh-oh. We're going to add the piece of pumpkin pie to the top. And we'll add this layer. Oops. I will add this in the center. And we'll add our sentiment, our inside piece, just like this. And we'll layer that on the inside of the card. There you go. And you have a space to write on the inside. And there's our scene. Let me crease this down again with the bone folder. And there you go. I didn't put a sentiment on the outside. I didn't want to cover up the scene, but it's kind of cute, different. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's Halloweenish and you want some of those imperfections. See right here, I didn't do that, just like right here, broken fence, but that's fine. So thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the card that I made today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. That way you can be notified of new videos that come out. I would love it if you would like the video and then share it with your friends and family and let them see some of the different projects that I make as well. I would really appreciate that as well. So thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll be back with another video really soon.